Habakkuk 2, verses 4. Behold, his soul, which is lifted up, is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Habakkuk 2, verses 5. Yea, also because he transgresses by wine his philosophies. He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. They have military bases all over the earth. Who enlarges his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Revelations 6, verses 8. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him. And power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth, to kill with the sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beast of the earth.
A few weeks ago, we brought you the data. The data is these excess deaths. So why are so many people dying this year when you compare it with last year? Now, I say something is worth investigating, wouldn't you? Like, how many of you actually think that we should start looking into this more deeply? I do. A few weeks ago, we brought you the data. The data is absolutely troubling on the significant rise in excess deaths in the UK and the stunning data in the United States. Now, the data shows that young people are dying at an alarming rate. Many of these people are from the age of 0 to 24 years old. So that's an awful number, right? We can see people, okay, over 66 years old, over 65 years old. I get it, right? Maybe there's seasonal adjustments but 0 to 24 years old? What the hell's happening here? A few weeks ago, we saw this. This is towards the end of September. We showed you this chart. Now, this is from the CDC. Okay, this is the CDC's own website. And in red X's at the top there, what you can see are these are all excess. All of the areas where there's like little plus signs above that red line that looks like a wave. Okay, all of those above that are excess. Abnormal, and it's growing. Now, if you look at the current trajectory of excess deaths in the United States, take a look at this. Now, we'll get to the UK in a second, but look at the current excess deaths. This is from this afternoon, okay? This is the CDC's own website data. So just look here as we track up, and you can see as we continue to go up this steep hill, climbing, and continuing to grow. Excess deaths the week of this ending last week, okay, the 43rd week. Look at that, astonishing. And the cumulative excess deaths in the United States from 0 to 64 years old. From 0 to 64 years old, okay? Now, if we scroll down a little bit more, and you'll see from that's 65 plus right there, okay, that's a little bit higher. But then look at this, 0 to 24 years old. 0 to 24 years old. Astonishing. Look at that chart. I mean, it's not hard to, you sort of sit there with when I look at, like, my mouth's open when I'm looking at these data points. I mean, think about that.
At excess mortality. Now, basically, there's about 1,300 too many people per week dying in England and Wales at the moment, and we don't know why. Dying much more than we would expect based on previous years' averages. And I'm going to be giving evidence that suggests that this is not just a UK phenomenon, this is an international phenomenon. But we've got good quality data from the UK.
So it's happening all around the world. More people are dying in every country and every neighborhood than they normally. What changed?
We're looking at excess mortality. Now, basically, there's about 1,300 too many people per week dying in England and Wales at the moment, and we don't know. People are dying much more than we would expect based on previous years' averages. And I'm going to be giving evidence that suggests that this is not just a UK phenomenon, this is an international phenomenon. But we've got good quality data from the UK.
So it's happening all around the world. More people are dying in every country.
data. Jason, the previous study from the U.S. life insurance companies, many of them were reporting a 40% increase in deaths from all causes in the 18 to 49-year-old group. They know that because these are life insurance companies that provide group life insurance policies to employers. So these are working age individuals with a 40% increase in all-cause deaths. That was a different report from this bombshell that came out last week from, as I said, 3 career military physicians who are calling a military database. So they are 2 groups of data that show, again, an alarm that something is going on. And the question is what? What has changed in calendar year 2021 that is causing, number one, an increase in all-cause death reported by the life insurance companies, and an increase in certain medical conditions such as heart attacks, blood clots to the lungs, congenital malformations of children born that year, female infertility, and those sorts of things.
Did these 3 career military physicians offer any type of speculation?
They did not, but they did not do this anonymously. They signed an affidavit on this. I have not seen the raw data. I'm not a military physician. I don't have access to that database, but I don't have any reason to believe at this juncture that the data is in question. These are, again, based on ICD codes, and I should make it clear because it's very easy to make statistics of these sorts deceptive. So when I say that there's a 300% increase, for example, in cancers, is what they found. This wasn't an increase from 1 case to 4 cases. In the case of cancer, for example, it was an increase from an average, a 5-year average of 38,000 cases per year to almost 120,000 cases in calendar year 2021. And actually, it wasn't even a full year. It was more like 11 months worth of data. And it was almost up to 120,000 cases of cancer. So the question is, what would
Changed. Talk to you is, I think your partner said you used to do 2 to 3 funerals a week. Now you're doing about 6 to 7. Is that correct?
Yes, we've been that busy, Michael, the last little while. Even this morning, I didn't know you were coming to town, but this morning, I counted the numbers in the book, for the past 6 months. And almost exactly, we're up in the last 6 months by 50%. So that's why we've been so busy. And I was very concerned because on Tuesday of this week, a very, very special school friend who I sat next to for 5 years. We had his funeral service on Tuesday. He was born in 1955. I'm seeing lots of people dying that are born in the 60s and beyond. So it's not just the elderly. And when you feel that something's not quite right, you'll see a death notice. We may not be the funeral directors, but I think, hang on, that person is normally a super fit person. And I've had a few instances happen in the last 6 months where it has been quite startling that they would actually pass away.
How are they passing away? Is it like slow or quick? Or what are they dying of?
Well, it seems that some are dying in their sleep. There's been 2 or 3 that I know that have had... this is not necessarily my funeral company, but there's this particular one I was thinking of, the super fit person. She died of a brain aneurysm, and I've noticed there's been 2 or 3 of those around the northern part of Tasmania. So there's something that's not quite right. It just doesn't feel right to me, and I just can't put my finger on it right now. But it seems to have happened very suddenly, because you can imagine we need to pre-plan with sort of staffing, with our premises, and it's only been the last, say, 7 months. The previous 10 and a quarter years were very, very consistent, but this has been a rapid rise in the last 6 to 7 months. So we are.
Second Esdras 6 verses 7. Then answered I and said, What shall be the parting asunder of times? Or when shall be the end of the first, and the beginning of it that followeth? 2nd Esdras 6, verses 8. And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. 2nd Esdras 6, verses 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth.